To start this video off, I want to ask you a quick question. It will nicely tie back into the end of the video and you'll understand why I'm asking it. And also it goes along these principles. But the question I want to ask you is, do you consider yourself a committed person? Do you consider yourself, the type of person that when they start something, they complete it? So moving on to the video, guys. This video is about how to persuade using one simple question. I got this idea from Robert Cialdini's book, Pre-Suasion, and I'm going to go into it today. So to start off with, what is persuasion? So basically, persuasion is an action prior to a certain task that could increase the likelihood towards a certain answer. I like to use this example. It's a great way to understand it. It's very extreme, but we'll go to it anyway. Let's say a woman had a bag. She was walking and I wanted to have that bag. If I simply went up to that woman and said, "Hey, give me your bag," the chances that she would say yes would be probably quite low. However, if I walked up to that woman and before asking her to give me her bag, I had a gun and I put it in her and said, "Hey, give me your bag," she would give me the bag. And the reason for that is I persuaded her using a ulterior motive. Obviously, completely extreme, but we can go on to sort of more subtle ways to do this now. So an example from the book that sort of implements this strategy is basically it uses the example of a study, and the goal of this study was to get consumers to supply an email address to be sent instructions on how they can try a new soft drink. So most people, especially in the modern age, they don't really like supplying their email address. So when these researchers went up to people and simply asked for them to supply an email, only 33% of them volunteered. When using a persuasion technique, however, this skyrocketed to a whopping 75.7% of people agreeing to participate. So you may be wondering why this is. So this was done simply because they did one thing different, and that thing was, and it ultimately got them a 43% increase in volunteers, if they asked the question, do you consider yourself to be an adventurous person and try new things? So you may be wondering, why does this work? So there's two key reasons why this works. And I guess firstly, it engages in a theory called positive test strategy. This is also sort of mentioned as like a single shoot theory also in the book. Basically how that works is as humans, when deciding if something is, and I guess a possibility is correct, people typically look for the hits rather than the misses. People generally look for things to confirm this than disconfirm things. So ultimately, this leads people to assign themselves as X person. So let's say, when they asked, "Are you an adventurous person?" most people recall moments that assign themselves and confirm themselves as an adventurous person rather than disconfirming themselves to be an adventurous person. As such, they assign themselves as an adventurous person, and we'll see how this goes into the second reason, how this can influence people. So secondly, the second reason this works is, and it's gone over also in the book, his main book, which is influence, and basically due to them associating as an X person, as an adventurous person, for example, they then follow the principles of consistency to support this claim. So when you think of a crazy person, what do you normally think of as their traits? What typically comes to mind? Quite often, and I guess most people would probably agree with me, that they're not mentally there. They're constantly changing their minds, their beliefs. They're just all over the park, etc. As such, people, once they state their position as X person, once they're positioned as an adventurous person, they will often act in support of this claim. For example, we've got an example here. I also use the example of the adventurous person. If I say I'm an adventurous person, and then all of a sudden you say you want to go on an adventure, it would be inconsistent of me, and I would seem crazy if I said, "No, I don't like it going on adventures. No, I don't want to go on one." And another example here is someone who's a self-proclaimed and loudly stated liberal supporter. They'll tend to support all their ideas, even if they maybe don't agree with it. And they do all this just solely to be considered consistent and do not seem crazy. So how you can use this in your life and your business to basically influence and persuade more. I will start off, disclaimer, it says a lot in the book, so I'm assuming if you haven't seen the book, this is important. This should be all done morally and for the right intentions, and just keep that in mind, please. So how you can do this is, first, when you ask a question, you do it based off the positive test strategy that will make someone consider themselves X. For example, are you a person who considers themselves depressed? Most people will call memories that they're a depressed person, looking at times they're sad, etc. Once you use that and they're persuaded, you can offer them a solution, and they will have a much larger percent of people saying yes to the above tactic. So, for example, if I wanted to sell depression pills, I could go up to someone and say, "Hey, are you a person who normally considers themselves depressed?" Yeah, they recall the times they were. Yeah, I am. Okay, cool. I have these pills. Do you want to try them? They'll help you, etc. dramatically increase the likelihood of someone saying yes. Now, the exciting side of the exciting part of the video, guys. The reason I asked the question in the beginning, I'm sure you already know why, but I asked, are you a committed person? Yes, as such. You probably answered yes because of the single shoot theory. Because you answered yes, you didn't want to be crazy and you wanted to act out that. And as such, you were a committed person and watched the end of the video. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, subscribe. Put a lot of work into this one, especially. So please leave a like just so I know you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, I think I've currently got 2 subscribers right now. So it'd be awesome to make that 3 or even 10 by, a couple months. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe just so I know that people are enjoying this content. I'm going to create it regardless, but yeah, just subscribe so you don't miss a video and like it so I know someone's watching this. But yeah, have a great video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.